Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over a January 2023 market update. Let's get into it.
So in 2022, we had 50 units sold, and in 2023, we had 20. So that's a number that's 60% less in 2023. The average sale price went from $865K in 2022 to 1.1 million in 2023. So we actually had a gain in average sale price of 28.5%.
Our average days on the market went from 36 days in 2022, and that's in the month of January, to 79 days in January 2023, which is an increase in 119%. So we're seeing stuff sit on the market a little bit longer than last year. And then looking at average sold to ask ratio, it was ranging around 102%, and now we're looking at about 94% for January of 2023.
Okay, so let's get into some specific styles of property. And what we're going to do is talk about how they're performing in 2023. So let's just talk about apartments. So units sold, there's been 6. Average sale price was around 732,000. The average days on the market were 74. And the average sold to ask price was around 95%.
Looking at half duplexes, we saw 4 units sell for an average sale price around 1.6 million. It's about 93 average days on market for those properties, and we're looking at a total of 92% of sold to ask ratio.
So single family homes, we had 3 sell in January 2023 for an average sale price around $2 million. The average days on market was 93. The average sold to ask price was around 90%.
For hotel condos, we saw 3 units sell for just over $425,000 as the average sale price. The average days on market for those hotel condos were 5, so we're seeing a quick turnover on those units. And the average sold to ask ratio was actually at 101%, so sellers are achieving over asking price on their hotel condos according to this data. One thing to keep in mind about that lower number in average sale price at $425,000 is that consisted of fractionals and 2 1-bedroom units. So typically we see some 2 and 3 bedroom units in there, so that number may appear a little bit smaller, but that's just because of the style of property that we seen sold in that month.
In the tourist home zone, we had 2 sell in January for an average sale price of about $1 million to $1,037,000. 92 days on the market, average sold to ask price was 92%.
Moving into townhouses, we saw 2 sales for the month of January for an average sale price of just under $1 million. The average days on market for those properties were 29 days, and the average sale price was just over 95%. So, sorry, not average sale price, average sold to ask ratio, just over 95%. So we're still seeing some good sold to ask ratios. Obviously, they're down a little bit, but still really encouraging for sellers.
So, all right, there's a lot of numbers in all of that. So kind of in conclusion, and maybe we'll just go back and forth a little bit here. So we're seeing an increase from last January to this January of average sale price of 28% up. So, I mean, talk a little bit about what's going on in February already with the conditional sales.
Well, where we're at right now, as of today, we already have 11 conditional sales. So assuming that those are going to be closing in the month of February, we're projecting that we're going to be passing our total sales volume of 20 units in January in February. And I think a key thing to note is some of the new product that we're seeing come to the market now is actually moving very fast. So if you're a seller, now is a really good time to take a closer look at that. And the reason why that is because with the low inventory that we're currently seeing, new product and new listings that are currently happening are moving very quickly.
And if you're a buyer, you may look at it and go, well, if it's a good time to sell, it's not a good time to buy. Well, if you look at the average sale price increase of 28% since last January, that can be kind of, a little bit miscued based on, you're only looking at a month-to-month basis. But if you look at the historic data in Canmore and the Valley, things tend to appreciate over time. I know there's a lot of talk about a recession, and rightfully so. Interest rates are up. We've just come through COVID. We had record sales numbers through COVID here. I think what's happened here in Canmore is we've leveled off back to pre-COVID numbers.
Yep.
And so Canmore and the Valley's always been a great place to buy or sell. It does appreciate over time, which is good, again, for both buyers and sellers.
Yeah. And I think that's a great point. I think the key thing to look at is that average sale price increasing 28%. So I think as a buyer, it's going to be really difficult to time the market if you're looking to get into this area.
Right. And you know, I mean, there's a lot of Alberta economists that obviously you hear in the news about the recession. And like I said, that's you know, it's all relative and understandable. But the Alberta economy is really, really strong right now. And I think that bodes well for us here in the Valley.
Thanks for watching our January 2023 market update. If you have any questions about buying or selling and if it's the right time for you, feel free to reach out to us directly and stay tuned for our next video. See you next time.